A problem that we started facing for what comes next is having people splitting their time between certain areas of the game, but also having people who can take on tasks for specific roles. I can see this must be a huge problem as well if you're a solo developer. Let's say you're extremely skilled with programming and game design, but you still need to do some form of level design and eventually environmental art. Perhaps you have no 2D skills whatsoever, but the game requires a UI that has 2D elements. How would one tackle such problems? Remember, before we get into today's topic, wishlist the game on Steam as that would help us out tremendously. Now, in our game What Comes Next, we have started to fall behind on such things as environmental art, UI UX, and animations. As you can see, we have a somewhat good looking environment art for level 1, but there's still a lot of problems that we face with this level. Now this is mainly due to the fact that I've been a large part of developing this level, not only through the level design, but also as a part of the environmental art. So I focus a lot of my attention towards game design and the pure level design aspect of games. But as we have very few people working on environmental art, I have decided to help out with that as well, which has caused this problem. So, when you take a closer look at the structure of the level, you can clearly see that it is very symmetrical. It looks very generated. All the bushes are in straight lines, as this was a level design decision to keep the player within certain boundaries and areas in the level. But it does not realistically look like an overgrown courtyard. And as for our animations, we have a great team of graphical artists who are very capable of animating all of our characters. But there are many things that a game requires from artists such as 3D assets, concept art, shaders, and so on. And in order to even start animating a character, you require concept art, 3D modeling, retopology, rigging, and then you can start animating all the many animations that certain characters require. So for our marketing team, we have been focusing very heavily on our game's art, and we obviously want to show off our characters as a part of that as well, so it then becomes very tricky to have enough assets to show the beauty of a scene, but also have characters with well-made animations in order for us to do proper marketing. So the question then becomes, how do you solve these problems? Would it be better to just restructure the team and bring in people in the areas that you lack to get help with those areas? Or would you have to reorganize the roles that some members have and let them focus more heavily on these things even if they aren't good at it? Would people need to practice certain things and start focusing a lot more on the things that we lack instead? This is a very tough problem, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this, so feel free to comment your thoughts down below. Now, the reason why we are in this situation is due to it being summertime. We have a lot of people on vacation, we have people with normal jobs, and therefore our progress on certain areas in the game will slow down due to people being gone for periods of time. But there are still areas that we lack people in. As the project manager, I think it will be my job to help the team focus on these areas together and also prioritize certain aspects of the game that is more important at that current time. But all solutions are not always as easy as they might sound. As I mentioned earlier, we have a very few people working on environmental art, so I decided to help out on that. But I am absolutely terrible at environmental art, and sometimes it feels like I make a scene look worse than when I started. So hopefully the team can come together, cooperate on these areas that we lack, and for our next couple of devlogs you will see some great improvements. So stay tuned for that. Thank you very much for watching the video. We have just started posting more across all of our social medias, so go check them out and you'll get to see a lot of our progress and much more what goes on behind the scenes of making this game. Now we also have a public Discord that you can join in order to get to know the team better, hang out with us, post memes about the game, and of course, see a lot of extra footage and progress of our games. And with that said, I'll see you in the next one.